Now, the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
With Michigan State's hockey team taking on rival Michigan this weekend, head coach Adam Nightingale and his staff get another chance to show their ability to develop top talent that can compete against the best of the best. One of the best examples of that this season has been the play of Tampa Bay Lightning first-round draft pick Isaac Howard. Our Haley Schoengart recently sat down with Howard, who is one of the Spartans' Hobey Baker nominees, and has more on what keeps the Iceman so clutch.
An attempt there, now it comes loose to the base of the circle. Goal for Michigan State, Isaac Howard.
Isaac Howard saw revitalization in year one with MSU and has taken his game to a new level in year two.
Howard on the point now, so patient with it. Waits, shoots and scores! The Iceman strikes!
Howard sits at top 3 in the nation in goals and points.
Yeah, I mean, I think just trying to keep my game simple, play direct, play easy. I think I've gotten some great chemistry with my line mates, playing with Schrammel and Russell. Those guys are able to, make a lot of passes, find me, and then, bury a chance when I give it to them.
What is it about your line with Charlie Schrammel and Daniel Russell that works so well?
Yeah, I think it's just a a good combo of size and speed and creativeness. I think each game we're looking to show up right when the game starts and just play our way. I think our speed's a big factor. I think it helps create a lot of chances, and then I think we all have good stick skills and able to make plays and stuff.
What in the off season would you contribute to the increase in speed in yourself?
Yeah, I think just working with Will Morlock all summer long. Just doing the basics, meat and potato workouts, trying to get stronger and faster. Obviously, it's a developmental stage, so just trying to do all those basics to get better, and then having the right mindset.
Everyone talks about the Will Morlock summer, hanging over the trash can on the assault bike. What stands out when you think back to this past summer with Will? Yeah, I mean, sometimes the assault bikes get to be a lot, obviously, and people are puking and stuff. But I think it shows, in the season and in those late months that we're still so conditioned, and that third period of the second game comes around and we're still, full speed and teams are breathing through our eyelids. I think it's a big factor, and that's why we work hard in the summer. What was different about this past off-season that's really helped you take your game up a notch?
Yeah, I think just coming back with a bigger mindset to shoot the puck, be more aggressive, and also trying to round out my game, be better in other areas, I think has actually helped my offense get better as well.
Being better defensively has been a big emphasis for Howard in his junior campaign. This season, he earned time on the Spartans' penalty kill.
Having a better defensive mindset, trying to earn the coach's trust to get out in those situations, and when I have, just trying to do a good job, and hope to get in some more situations like that, and I think I've done pretty well. It's a big factor, especially going to the next level. Like, you want to be a two-way player, and not just be a one-trick pony. So it's something that I've wanted to dial in at for some years now, and I think I've took a big step.
Head coach Adam Nightingale has been very vocal about you having the opportunities to turn pro with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Why did you choose to return to East Lansing? Yeah,
I mean, I don't think I was in any rush, to be honest. I think this was the best developmental spot for me. It's, like I said, I want to be better defensively and round out my game, and doing it here with the coaching staff we have, they're so good, and I thought that was the best spot for me to, come back in another year or two and just dial it in, and, really no rush.
What did those conversations look like between not only the Lightning but also with the staff here at MSU as like a game plan to help you take that next step?
Yeah, they're always talking to each other, and which is awesome, giving some pointers on things I can do and what they see, and then they're relaying that information to me. And in the summer I was just doing some extra work with Brad Fast, and just being able to work on certain things and get better.
MSU on a power play. Fast from the blue line, scores again!
Yeah, he's awesome. This year I'm always able to get some one-on-one time with him too. He's, he's always trying to learn new drills and stuff that we can do. What he sees pro guys doing and stuff like that. So it's always great to pick his brain and then, get out there and work with him.
Recently, Lightning GM Julien Brisebois came to watch you play against Minnesota and had some really nice comments about you. What emotions come up whenever you get to hear him raving about you?
Yeah, it was good to see him. Mike Towns actually sent me that article of his comments, so it was good to see. Just, obviously I want to be in a good eye shadow for him, and it's good to see those comments, but just got to keep going.
You're nominated for the Hobie Baker Award, one of 2 Spartans. What is it like to see your name up against some of the nation's best this year?
Yeah, it's cool. I think it's a big factor just to, our team. I think when you have a successful team, you're going to have more individual success, so kind of just owe that to the team, and, just looking to keep going and win a national championship.
Much like Isaac Howard, Matt Baskell has seen his offensive production grow under head coach Adam Nightingale and his staff. Baskell, coming into this weekend, was 4th on the team in points, and his journey to East Lansing is a unique one. We'll have that story for you right after the break.
When you grocery shop with MSU FCU Cashback Plus, you get cash back. When you buy prescriptions, you get cash back. When you travel, dine out, buy gas, make home improvements, get up to 20% of your hard-earned cash back on your purchases with Cashback Plus. Discover how at msufcu.org/Cashback Plus.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Matt Baskell committed to Michigan State's hockey program 4 years before Adam Nightingale became head coach. But they arrived in East Lansing around the same time, as Baskell's freshman year was Nightingale's first year as head coach. So much has changed since his commitment, and as our Tyler Driesinga shows us, Baskell has stuck with it through it all and has really helped spearhead the program's turnaround.
Matt Baskell is soaking up every minute as a Michigan State Spartan. This is a time in his life he's dreamed about since he first committed to MSU 7 years ago, and a time he almost never got the chance to realize.
You can't take it for granted at all. It's every day you show up, it's a great day to be out there. It's a blessed day to be out there, so that's the approach it's been.
As a young hockey player, Baskell was achieving at the highest levels. He won a pair of national championships with Chicago Mission and committed to Michigan State as a sophomore in high school. But just when it seemed the stars were aligning for the up-and-coming defenseman, everything quickly changed.
Yeah, it was just kind of a blur.
While Baskell was playing junior hockey for the Omaha Lancers, his body began to break down.
We were doing conditioning one day, and I was on the ice just laying there afterwards. I was like, I don't know what's going on with me.
He tried desperately to push through, hoping things would return to normal on their own. Soon, he says, his mother forced him to go to the emergency room. At first, the doctors were as confused as Baskell was. Here was a young, in-shape hockey player, struggling with conditioning drills he had no issues with just days before. After days of testing, he was diagnosed with granulomatosis with polyangiitis, a rare autoimmune disease.
It's a vascular inflammation disease, so affects blood vessels for the most part. Mine's mostly in the upper or lower respiratory and my kidneys, so that's where most of it resides. My biggest symptoms were just bleeding in my lungs.
In the hospital, doctors told him and his mother that if they didn't get him on a Rituxan infusion, he could die.
What gave you the strength to face those words that you were hearing?
Honestly, my mentality is you just always keep going and whatever you're given. I think one thing I told my mom, especially in the hospital, because we didn't know, when we kind of got down to the last, the final, what it could have been, none of the options were great. So I was just like, expect the worst, but hope for the best, and that's kind of how I go through it.
The infusion worked, and within a couple of months, Baskell was cleared to return to the ice.
How did that time and going through that shift your perspective on life and on hockey?
Life, you just never know what can really go on. It's like, that's a situation that would never even cross my mind. I'd hardly even known what an autoimmune disease was at that time, and similar to, you could look at all the things that happen in people's lives these days, especially how people are affected by cancer and death, and you're like, this could never happen to me or a family member or whatever, but anything can happen. So always got to be aware of what's going on, always got to be prepared that stuff can go south.
With a new perspective, he continued to excel in junior hockey, but just months before he was set to come to campus and begin his freshman year at Michigan State, the Spartan program made a coaching change. Danton Cole was let go, and Adam Nightingale was brought in. It didn't take long for Baskell to realize he still wanted to be a Spartan.
I saw like his opening interviews when he got the job and everything, and how he wants to be the most competitive team in college hockey, and it's something that I didn't have to second guess about coming here. As I just wanted to be part of this program and see that we could turn things around.
The program's turnaround has been well documented. MSU finished last in the Big Ten the year before Baskel arrived. And just 3 years later, the Spartans are pursuing back-to-back Big Ten titles. Baskel has been a crucial part of it. He's skated in every game since his freshman year, and an assist against Ohio State last weekend was his 50th career point.
If I look at like a younger me, I think a younger me would be so shocked and excited about what I've been able to do. I mean, I think playing college hockey, especially here at Munn for Michigan State, is probably the most fun and exciting hockey I'll play in my entire life. I don't think it gets much better with the passionate fans we have, the student section, the stakes of every game we play in.
When Baskel committed to Michigan State all those years ago, he had no idea the twists and turns his life would take before he ever got to campus. Nor did he have any idea about the astonishing turnaround he'd be a part of on the other side of those trials.
I don't know, when you're faced with adversity and so many things throughout life, you kind of just learn that things can't drag you down that easily. You can always push through things, and there's always going to be a way to be better, a way to get better, a way to get through whatever you're going through.
Looking back on it now, are you grateful for the twists and the turns and that it didn't turn out maybe exactly how you had planned?
I wouldn't change a thing about it. I think everything in life happens for a reason. I think the way that everything was set up, the way everything happened is a perfect story. I wouldn't change a thing. There's always going to be difficulties in life, and I wouldn't trade those for anything.
Baskel says when he was first offered by MSU all those years ago, he was given 5 days to accept the offer. And he said he did not need 5 days, as he knew this was the place for him. Coming up after the break, we're going to be sitting down with head coach Adam Nightingale to talk about this weekend series with Michigan. We'll see you soon.
I love getting out and trying new things, but my seizures have always kept me back. Thankfully, the providers and researchers at MSU Healthcare work together to get my epilepsy under control. So now I can try anything.
At MSU Healthcare, helping you do you is what matters most to us. In fact, it's our mission. Visit healthcare.msu.edu to find a provider.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
This past weekend, Michigan State's hockey team split its series with Ohio State down in Columbus. And coming into this weekend, the Spartans were 2 points ahead of Minnesota with 8 games remaining in the regular season for first place in the Big Ten. The Spartans are now taking on rival Michigan this weekend. And prior to the rivalry matchup, we had a chance to sit down with head coach Adam Nightingale this week to discuss where things stand for his team. We'll start with this past weekend with Ohio State, that series. Bouncing back in Game 2, I guess, what did you like about the fight in that second night against the Buckeyes?
Yeah, man, I think we did a lot of good things on Thursday. The first game, just not enough to win a hockey game, especially this time of year. You're playing a good team, top 10 team. They did a really good job of blocking shots. So we had to be, get it on and off our stick a little quicker, play a little faster, and still try not to give up a ton. They're a team that can tax it defensively, too. So I thought we did a really good job responding there on Friday. And, I think for the group to know, like, we got to make sure that, you're getting down to the short strokes here, single game elimination, so you don't always have that opportunity to respond. You got to make sure you're ready to go.
When you're on the road, what does that prep look like going into the second game throughout that whole day leading up to the game?
Yeah, I mean, for the guys, they get back to the hotel, make sure they get the fluids in them and eating and sleeping, and then for the staff, we're watching the game back and trying to find ways to help our team improve and find things that we thought we did well, and we'll show a little bit of video in the morning and do some power play in the morning. Guys will stretch a little bit, and then about 2.5 hours before the game, we'll meet at the hotel and go over penalty kill and then 5-on-5 stuff. And then having Thursday-Friday series, obviously you get the extra day this week to maybe get ready for Michigan. What did you guys do to take advantage of that extra day? Yeah, we played a lot of hockey here in this stretch, so we actually got home late and told the guys no one to the rink on Saturday. Just get, go back to your apartment, to get caught up on schoolwork, get caught up on rest, and Sunday use it as a recovery day to get your body back going, ready so we can have a great day on Monday. Does that include coaches too? Oh, the coaches were out recruiting, combination recruiting. I actually got a chance to watch my youngest son. He was in a tournament in Port Huron, Silver Stakes tournament, so I got a chance to. My wife was in Pittsburgh with one of the other kids at a tournament, so yeah, a little bit divide and conquer. But yeah, it was good to get, a combination of getting out and recruiting and spending some time with the family.
I know you like to fish, probably more in the off season, but when it's in season, do you get a chance to do any of your hobbies, or do you have anything fun?
It's hard, yeah, it's hard. I did a couple weeks ago. I went ice fishing on a Monday, and that was fun. It was good to get out there. A buddy of mine came up and met me, and just to be outside. And actually, on Sunday, got a chance to get outdoors again. Brought my youngest out walking some property and looking for deer sheds, so it was a fun day.
Obviously now getting ready for Michigan this week. The first game Friday is here. What is the advantage of being able to play here at Munn in front of the home crowd, especially in a big rivalry game?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, Munn's been great to us, right? The crowd has been awesome. They're into the game, and we got to make sure we give them something to cheer about. And it's not always going to be scoring, but I think our fans respect our guys' effort and team play. So making sure we're ready to go off the bat. And you look back at the second game of the series here at Munn. The building was obviously jammed and loud, and it was a big factor in us winning that game. And then going down to Detroit for that second game, obviously that creates a whole new environment for the guys, especially the freshmen being able to play in an NHL rink. What do you do to prepare the guys for that environment? You're hoping the leaders talk to the guys a little bit about it, right? The reality is, until you get into that venue, it's hard to replicate it, right? And it's pretty cool though to go down there. The Red Wings open up their building, the Illich family supporting it, and we got a ton of alums down in the area, and even for a lot of the alums that would love to bring their son or daughter to a game here at Munn, they can't get a ticket, so it's a bigger venue, and it'll be sold out there too. And yeah, it's a great atmosphere, and it's one our guys will really appreciate being in.
Do you have any special memories of dueling the D, whether as a player or as a coach?
I think all of them have been great. I just think the whole experience of getting out playing in an NHL building, obviously as a player, that was really cool. Growing up in Sheboygan, you're a Red Wing fan, and they get a chance to play there, and then be in the rivalry, and half the building's on one side and half's on the other. And I always say to our guys, like I got a chance to work in Detroit for 3 years, and that's as loud as I've ever heard the building, because there's so much passion between the two schools, and it forces you to be at your best, and that's what we're looking to do this weekend.
Nightingale did say last week the month of February is when teams really start to ramp up the intensity with the postseason looming, and he's hoping this weekend the team takes another step towards playing their best brand of hockey. Coming up after the break, we're going to continue our chat with Nightingale. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Prior to Adam Nightingale becoming Michigan State's hockey coach in the spring of 2022, MSU had lost 11 of its last 12 games with rival Michigan. Coming into this weekend and the 12 games with Nightingale as head coach, the Spartans and Wolverines have split the 12 games. We had a chance to talk more about the rivalry with Nightingale in our conversation this week.
Hey, Coach, what were your emotions like as a player going into this game during your time here?
Well, I was terrible at controlling my emotions, to be honest with you. So I took a lot of bad penalties, and I think for me I was probably immature, but just I was competitive, and so the juices get flowing and the wires cross, and all of a sudden you do something, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that, or I can't believe I did that again.
I found it interesting, you were talking in your pregame press conference this week about how you kind of maybe let your emotions get the best of you when you played Michigan. For someone who's now very even keel, what changed for you now as a coach?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened. I think probably learning growing up, right? I was probably immature, and then I think too is I got into right when I got into coaching, you start having kids, and then you start to realize really what's most important. I think at that time in my life, I probably thought hockey was the most important thing and the end all be all, and every play is do or die. And I think when you have some real life experience and you start having a family, you start to realize that obviously it's great. We want to win every game we play in, but as far as perspective of really what matters, but I also think if you have that mindset, that helps you reach your potential. You have your priorities in the right spots, and so yeah, probably definitely grown up quite a bit.
Is that something you share at all with the players about like how you've changed?
Oh yeah. We talk, and I think that's no one's perfect, right? We all make mistakes, and I'm no different. Our guys are no different, right? And our job is to coach them, and I think also them understanding that you know that feeling too, right? Like I've been there where the wires get crossed and you make some poor decisions, and you know our job as coaches is to make sure to help you with that, and whether it's focusing on you know things that you can control and controlling your emotions, and that I think that's the fun side of coaching, right? Is helping guys you know identify areas to keep working on and support them to make it better.
The period is over. Everybody gets a dance partner. 64 minutes and penalties handed out. 11 players disqualified. Jim Cummins, Joby Messier, Brian Smolinski, Kelly Harper, and Jason Muzzatti all get the thumb. The main event, Muzzatti and Shields. The Michigan goalie gets beat a second time, and the Wolverines lose their freshman netminder.
Obviously don't know what the postseason will look like, but for guys like David Gucciardi, Tanner Kelly, this might be their last chance to play Michigan. They've obviously been through the ups and the downs of the program. For David especially, you know, he's already got a career high in points this year. Where is he maybe just taking an extra step?
I don't know if you call it lucky, but it's the extra work that got the job done. Well, I mean, David Gucciardi won the battle on the wall up at the point, did everything, got all the work, got 2 shots off, and, you know, lucky.
Yeah, he's been great. I mean, it's been really cool for those two and to experience, you know, Munn the way it is now, for them to see it, and just the changing of the program, you know. And I give those guys a ton of credit, right? Coaching change isn't easy, and you know, you got different, whole new staff that didn't recruit you, and really buying into what we need to be as a hockey team. And you know, Gooch has done a great job. You know, not just at the rink, he's really improved, but I think, you know, getting all of his ducks in a row, and whether it be schoolwork or being on time for things and being disciplined, and you know, those are things that obviously, you know, hopefully Gooch can play hockey for a long time, but at some time your career's done, right? And so you want to have that foundation of good habits, and he's definitely made a huge effort and improved a ton away from the rink, and I think now you're starting to see it on the rink.
Yeah, how do players like him who know, like, you know, this is such a big series, how do they help with the younger guys that, like, hey, you know, just try to keep this maybe as normal as possible?
For sure, yeah, no, I think it's a feeling when you get it, you know, until you hop on that ice, it's hard to replicate it, right? So you need some people you trust, and you know, fortunately, we've already played 2 games in the series, so I think our guys know what to expect that way, the intensity and the focus that it takes to have success in games like this. So, but yeah, I think really leaning on the older guys, the guys that have been through it, to help guide the younger guys.
Good move by Haig. He had room to shoot. Passes off. Scores! Spartans win!
I know I asked about your favorite duel in the D memory, but just overall the series with Michigan, do you have like any favorite that you were a part of or weren't even a part of that you watched that you really enjoyed?
I think all of them have been special in their own way. You know, even the ones that don't go your way, right? It's an opportunity to grow, and it stings a little bit more, right? So I think it's, again, I'm so thankful to be part of a rivalry, because I think it forces you to be at your best, right? And forces you to keep improving. And you know, I think for our guys, they would say the same, right? It's awesome to be a part of. We talk about the state of Michigan. It's a great hockey state. But yeah, I don't think there's any one that stands out to me. I think all of them have been special.
When did you guys have to give back the Duel in the D trophy? Was it this week?
I brought it back, actually. We went down with my family to watch a Red Wing game, I think a couple weeks ago or whatever, so I brought it down there, and that thing's heavy, so yeah, we could get a cart to wheel it in, but yes, we dropped it off a couple weeks ago.
Last season, Michigan State won the Duel in the D trophy for the first time since 2016. Puck drop on Saturday night between the Spartans and Wolverines is set for 8 o'clock on the Big Ten Network at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. That'll be it for this week's show. As always, hope you enjoyed. Here's our Play of the Week before we go.
Now, the Play of the Week, sponsored by Schupan & Sons.
The Michigan State women's basketball team was on the road this past Sunday, taking on Northwestern. The Spartans picked up an 89-75 victory. Grace Van Slooten led the way with 20 points. Part of her great performance was this sequence where she got the rebound, the bucket, and the foul, all helping MSU improve to 18-4 on the season. Michigan State's next game is going to be this Sunday at 2 p.m. at the Breslin Center when they take on a rival Michigan, and it was back on January 25th when the Spartans took down the Wolverines 88-58 in Ann Arbor.
10,000 Michigan children are in foster care, and many of them need a temporary home. Are you open?
As a foster parent, you help a child reach their goals.
You make a game-changing assist.
You give a child the home advantage.
And you do it because you know every child deserves a special team.
Ready to cheer on a child? Take the first step to become a foster parent today.
When you grocery shop with MSU FCU Cashback Plus, you get cash back. When you buy prescriptions, you get cash back. When you travel, dine out, buy gas, make home improvements, get up to 20% of your hard-earned cash back on your purchases with Cashback Plus. Discover how at msufcu.org/cashback plus.